there, I'm Mary Annarella of Lyrical Knits, and thanks again for joining me for this quick tutorial for how to knit into the stitch below. I specifically made this tutorial to supplement a pattern that is worked in the round, but my little swatch here is flat. However, the technique is going to be the same. So to get to where I have to knit into the row below, purl that one stitch, because again I am knitting back and forth. So knit one below. Knit one below means to insert your needle into the stitch below the stitch that's currently on your left needle, right here. So, or rather left here. So normally when you knit, you're going to do that. But what we're going to do instead is put our needle from the right side of the fabric and poke it through to the wrong side of the fabric. Just like that. Like I'm going to stab right through my fabric. So, and I will knit this stitch right here. And so I put my right needle right into that hole on the right side of the fabric, poke it through to the left side, and draw through a loop as if to knit. Like that. Then I drop that top stitch right off the needle. What this does is it pulls up the stitch below like you had slipped it for brioche. And that top stitch that I dropped, that tucks behind our work. And it's like this, that is the yarn over that you make in brioche without having to do all the slips and everything. So doing the knit one below, I'm not going to knit the top one, but I'll just kind of poke it open so you can see where I'm going to go. I'm going to go down in here. So just one stitch below. So top stitch, one stitch below. I'm going to poke my right needle from the right side of the fabric to the other side, draw a loop as if to knit, and lift it off. Yes, this will get kind of loopy for a second there, but it really will fall out, especially once you get going on this. But you can look and see how this was the stitch below, and this little strand of yarn here and here is what would have been a yarn over. It's what was our little stitch there. So all the Fisherman's rib stitch does is, instead of doing a slip one yarn over, you just knit the stitch, or you could even purl the stitch. So like I purled this one here. When I get to the other side, I'm gonna do a knit one below. So to knit one below, just like that. Again. All right. And I will be right back to show you how to do the purl one below in a moment. Alrighty, welcome back. Now I'm going to show you how to do the purl one below. I have a different swatch here, same yarn, but I have it set up because when you do two color brioche, either flat or in the round, or two color Fisherman's rib, either flat or in the round, you need to do a purl one below. So to do that, it's the same concept of the knit one below, but we're just going to purl into the stitch below the next stitch on the needle. So this next stitch on the needle is where I need to purl one below. So on my left needle here, I'm pointing here with my finger here at the stitch that I'd normally just purl like that, but we're not going to do that. We're going to purl into this stitch here. So to do that, I'm going to insert my right needle from the wrong side and just poke it through to the right side, like this. Catch my loop as if to purl, pull it through to the wrong side, and lift both those stitches off the needle, and that top stitch will just come loose eventually. If it doesn't right away, don't worry, I will later on. So I'm going to knit one because it's the next stitch here that I need to purl one below. So again, I'm going to ignore this top stitch and put my needle through the back of it. So all the way from the wrong side, poking through to the right side. Pull it through like that. let that top stitch just fall away. Now there's a little pitfall here. Sometimes, I don't know if you're really working with an open stitch, I suppose, make sure that, okay, you know, you're going to bring your yarn forward all the way. Make sure you don't like go in front or something of that running thread there. Don't do that. You want to come all the way from the back of the stitch, all the way from the side of your work that's facing away from you, the wrong side of your work. So from all the way back here, poke your needle through that stitch that's below, and sometimes, you know, you may have to open things up a little bit. Wrap your yarn around the stitch. I'm continental, so I just kind of pick it out, lift the whole thing forward like that. So now I knit the next stitch as usual. This one, bring your yarn forward like you would, you know, for either throwing or continental knitting. Poke your right needle from entirely the wrong side of your work to the right side of your work. Either wrap your yarn, oops, it fell backwards. Wrap it around with whichever hand you use and pull it right through like that. And that top stitch will fall off. That's exactly what you want. And I'm using my finger here to kind of pull it out a little bit, just so you can see it a little bit better. Then I'm going right into this stitch right here. Catch my loop, pull the whole thing off. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Happy knitting.